we fight, and we survive. Well, one of the greatest political fighters and survivors of all time joins us now, former vice presidential candidate and governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin. Governor, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Grant. That was outstanding. If that didn't make people want to rise up and say, go America, and let's get rid of the wackos who are absolutely ready to implement socialism and erode our rights, then I don't know what's going to motivate them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Governor, coming from you, that's humbling because you are a motivating figure like no other. And so my question to you is, are you concerned, as I am, about the future of this country and where the other side wants to take us?
Well, remember, candidate Barack Obama had promised what was going to happen. He said he was ready to fundamentally transform America. You only fundamentally transform something for which you have disdain. You want to get rid of that thing, that entity, and you want to replace it with something unrecognizable. That's fundamental. So we were warned all those years ago. I think the biggest problem is that we don't have a referee in all of this. Used to be, of course, the mainstream media was the referee, the bulwark of democracy, supposed to be asking the questions about what was actually going on. And we see, of course, I mean, gosh, it almost goes without saying, we see the corruption and the unethical behavior within the media. Thus, we don't have a referee right now. And it's people like you, Grant, who are, just pulling yourselves up from the bootstraps and trying to get that message out there to let people know, really, Grant, there are more of us than there are of them. There are more hardworking, patriotic, ethical Americans who just want government off our backs, get it back on our side. There are more of us than there are of them.
Yeah, and I truly believe that. And the reason we hear so much about them, of course, is because the mainstream media gives them a platform. But when you talk about where we're headed, I want to also talk about judges, because we have cowardice in this country. I see now judges afraid to do what's right. I see state legislators afraid to do what's right. And it put President Trump in a very terrible position this election. If the fraud evidence is true, and it proves to be true, he could have had this election stolen from him, Governor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's baffling what we see in terms of the lack of courage. And, that's tragic for our country. We do see so many sheep just following those who I think are giving them the perception that things will be made easier for them if they'll just follow these Democrat leaders like AOC, that clip that you just played of hers. Holy moly. Do people hear what she's saying? She's saying, anybody who's working hard, you're out there working, you shouldn't be living in poverty. And of course, people like me were saying, well, duh, AOC, then quit taking their money, those who are working so hard, and giving it to able-bodied people who are choosing not to work. The things that these Democrat leaders are saying today, they're so twisted. It's so Orwellian. Who would have thought that 1984, the book, was going to be their playbook? We know what's going on. We have to talk more about the solutions, Grant. And part of the solution is an infiltration and an influence in pop culture. That's where common sense constitutional conservatives need to get in there and make a difference, because everything is downstream from pop culture, politics, the economy, the way things are marketed. We got to get back out there, not just preaching, to the choir and the four square walls. Get out there in pop culture and change it.
Yeah, absolutely. If we do that, they've been brilliant about weaponizing Hollywood and messaging for their side, and I think that's a brilliant idea. Governor Palin, I wish I had more time with you because I could do a whole show with you. It's my first interview, and I'm honored to have you on the program. I hope, please, will you come back for us?
Absolutely. You're going to do great. I'm so glad you're going to be in the week now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Governor. We'll see you again soon for sure. All right, folks.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.